How's it going, everybody? Ni hao. Welcome to a brand new episode of Crypto Clout. I am your host, FaZe Crypto. Welcome to the Roaring 20s. And of course, I am going to start off this video talking about this Mike Novogratz starts 2020 with a simpler Bitcoin prediction. So in recent tweet, Novogratz commented that he thinks the world's leading cryptocurrency by market cap will spike 12k in the coming months. While 12k is certainly a fine number by most standards, it doesn't quite garner attention or interest the way predictions of other three might. So of course 12k doesn't even come relatively close to the 13.6, which was the peak price for Bitcoin in 2019. So what should we be getting exhausted about? Of course, this is interesting article right here. Novogratz sort of does give us an interesting perspective into his his psychology. The biggest price prediction comes from John McAfee, of course, who has repeatedly claimed that Bitcoin will potentially strike 1 million mark in 2020, and I think he has to eat a certain body part if that doesn't happen. So at the end of the day, Novogratz's prediction is nice to see, but it doesn't tantalize our brains the way the other predictions do. In fact, Novogratz took to Twitter to share several predictions for the past year, and it feels almost as if the one regarding Bitcoin's price was simply thrown in there at the last minute to keep his words, of course, relevant to crypto. So, I mean, it will be interesting. I mean, an interesting development. I mean, always interesting to see. I mean, 12k would be nice, but of course, personally, I would like to see Bitcoin dip down as per a lot of the more bearish perspectives. People give out that prediction of seeing a potential like 60% drop. In particular, altcoins would suffer, and I would say that would be a really good sale. I mean, I always like to get my Bitcoin cheaper. I don't want to be accumulating Bitcoin at 12k. I will, as per my action plan, I'm always accumulating Bitcoin. That's sort of my MO. However, I would say that it would be an interesting development in the space to see the price going up. I mean, it would short-term benefit people who are holding Bitcoin, but at the same time, I would say that those of us who are more interested in accumulation would rather see the price dip down in the short term, especially. I mean, I have no quarrels in my mind, no qualms about what I expect to see. I would say, when we refer to the 2020 now as the Roaring 20s, I would see it more as along the lines of the digital age. I mean, the internet is really the most important thing to keep an eye on as we see this year push forward. See a lot of the different developments and potentialities. Then some of the most important things that are going to be happening in the next decade are going to involve cryptocurrency. They're going to involve a lot of these different aspects of the Internet of Things, and most notably, I would say blockchain, which brings us to our topic of discussion, which is why I would, in part, give a lot of attention. And I have been. I mean, we ended 2019 by making several videos discussing Cardano and just talking about what we can expect to see from this technology. Really a great team. In Cardano, you got to give the credit where credit is due. I think that they've done a lot with the various resources that have been made at their disposal. And I mean, it will be interesting to see. So Cardano versus Ethereum. Hodgkinson dukes it out with Ian. So this is interesting as well. I think that it is sort of a foreshadowing of what we can expect to see as we go forward into the next few years. I think that it will be interesting to see how Ethereum and of course. Just thinking about it, I mean, I have always sort of brought up the concept of Bitcoin being like the introduction of digital gold, and then, of course, coming right along with Ethereum as sort of that next natural evolution, as far as the technology is concerned, and then something pointing towards at least a Cardano project, or along those similar lines as what we could expect to be, in part due to where we're going to be watching cryptocurrency taking that next step forward, and actually how it's going to look unfolding in real time. Well, of course, a lot of these different business interests and a lot of other things, but I would say the potential for a Cardano, sort of spike in price. We've talked about like a $3 Cardano on here. I would say 2020 is sort of a it is kind of a thought of high magnitude proportions. I'd say $3 by the end of the decade isn't any stretch of the imagination. So the article goes on to say IOHK Charles Hodgkinson had some harsh words for Ian, the founder of the blockchain analysis company Token Metrics. The bone of the conversation. The tweets claimed Ethereum was superior to Cardano from a technical perspective. Of course, quote, Cardano is vastly superior to EOS. So of course, you've lost your damn mind. Ethereum has better code. Can I buy whatever you're smoking? You lost your mind, and so of course, Hoskinson not very happy about that. Always more outspoken, on Twitter. A very interesting figure. So of course, ADA price January 1st, 2020. So bears are in full control, and the downtrend seems to be continuing for Cardano in the short term. Of course, I would point towards similar sort of analysis, logical framework. I would say, in the short term, I would say the bears will probably drive the overall market capitalization of cryptocurrency down, which, of course, at the time of making this video was 192,484. 239039. So it will be interesting to see how this rivalry plays out, and I'm watching it very closely on the edge of our seats. Many of you wanted me to comment on it, and this is what I'm doing, answering viewer requests. So of course we've got this article right here. Crypto Titan calls Bitcoin to 12k, sort of similar to what we talked about earlier. Cardano in 2020 will be a beast per Charles Hoskinson. Indeed, a crypto year ahead for a great year for ADA. So Charles Hoskinson, of course, reports that 2020 will be an excellent year for ADA. I think in terms of technology and just getting those things under their belt that will really be important moving forward. And no question about that. I would say from a technology perspective, scientific and all these other things alike, we will be seeing some very interesting developments happening with Cardano in the future as things move forward. And then of course, just as a side note, self-proclaimed Satoshi Craig Wright to receive $8 billion worth of BTC today, so that's interesting as well. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about that. Many of you were commenting and having an interesting discussion about that. Perhaps I'll weigh in on that in a future video. So of course we've got Bitcoin boredom incoming before bull markets begin, with the 2000 now in the history books. Looking back at the year, it was a roller coaster ride for Bitcoin traders, with the asset reaching around $3,000, then rallying 350% to 14k before falling back down to 6,500 at a local low. However, according to one analysis, that roller coaster ride is about to get a lot less bumpy and probably even boring for most crypto investors and traders over the next few months before Bitcoin breaks out and the bull market really begins. Boring Bitcoin price action to proceed next rally. Traders and investors often like to talk about what would be the Max Payne scenario that would cause the market the most headache and confusion following deep drops in price, late shorts. So it will be interesting to see. Obviously this is kind of going in the realm of hearsay at the current time. There's really nothing that we don't know what's going to happen. As far as these different developments will go, but we'll see how this Novogratz prediction ages. And all that being said, remember, this video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. course, I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not your dad. I'm only making this video to share my opinion on the great world of cryptocurrency and what I personally see happening in the space. So I'll continue to make these videos. Now, of course, comment down below letting us know what you guys think. And of course, comment down below letting us know what country you're viewing us from. Always interesting to see that. And all that being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed that. Have a good one, and good luck this next decade. And I think this has been a good first video for that decade.